personally, like I said, that my body was missing. In particular, after having 2 kids, I wasn't able to be at a weight that was healthy for me. And I just started coughing really bad because I've had blood clots in the past, and I couldn't breathe, and I coughed so hard that I ripped my stitches. You know how hard you have to cough to do.
When Serena Williams first burst onto the professional tennis scene in the late 90s, she wasn't just another rookie. She was a teenager from Compton with braided beads rattling in her hair, a serve so powerful it shocked opponents, and a body type that challenged everything tennis was supposed to look like. I still remember those beads, guys. Unforgettable. They weren't just a hairstyle, they were a statement. From the very beginning, Serena wasn't just competing in tennis. She was forcing the sport, and really the world, to rethink what beauty, strength, and femininity could look like. Tennis had long been tied to a Eurocentric standard: slim, delicate, and polished. And then Serena came in with unapologetic muscle, intensity, and confidence. Every single match was a double battle, one against her opponent and one against a culture that wasn't ready for her. But as the years passed, people began noticing how Serena's appearance evolved. Her style, her body, even her facial features, everything seemed to shift. Some fans celebrate it, others raise their eyebrows, and critics, of course, always have something to say. That's what we're diving into today, my friends. Not just the physical changes people point out, but the deeper story behind them. Why does Serena look different now? And why do we, as a culture, care so much? To answer that, we need to zoom out. Public figures like Serena don't just exist, they perform. Sociologist Irving Goffman called it impression management. Basically, it's the way people, especially celebrities, try to control how others see them. And let's be real, guys, when you're Serena Williams, impression management isn't just a theory, it's survival. She's not only an athlete, she's a wife, a mom, a businesswoman, and a cultural icon. Each role carries different expectations. Combined, they push her to constantly curate her image. That ties directly into another psychological idea: self-concept theory. That's the way we see ourselves, who we think we are, who we want to become, and how we imagine others see us. For Serena, her self-concept had to expand as her life grew beyond tennis. She wasn't just Serena the champion anymore. She became Serena the brand. And with that shift, appearance starts to play a bigger role. So let's rewind. Young Serena, with the braids and the raw energy, walked onto courts around the world and instantly disrupted tradition. But if you look at Serena now, you'll see a different aesthetic, more polished, more carefully managed, and yes, visibly transformed. That transformation sparks endless debate. Online, people argue about whether she's had cosmetic work, whether her skin looks lighter, whether her nose is different. Some obsess over her hair. Why blonde? Why wigs? Why not natural? Guys, the list goes on, but here's what a lot of those conversations miss. Serena's body and image have been under a microscope since day one. Critics mocked her physique, called her too muscular, too masculine, too intimidating. Former rival Maria Sharapova even wrote in her memoir that Serena had thick arms, thick legs, and was so strong and tall. Now, imagine reading that about yourself in a book sold worldwide. And it wasn't just rivals. In 2014, the head of the Russian Tennis Federation straight up referred to Serena and Venus as the Williams brothers. He was fined and suspended for it, but the insult was loud, public, and rooted in a long racist history. This wasn't just trash talk. This was the weight of stereotypes that Black women have been forced to carry for centuries. Because for generations, Black women have been pressured to constantly prove their femininity. Harmful stereotypes painted them as either hypersexualized bodies or stripped them of femininity entirely, labeling them as mannish or undesirable. When people compared Serena to a man, it wasn't just about her arms or her legs. It echoed centuries of racist caricatures. Serena herself admitted the scrutiny cut deep. Back in 2004, she told a journalist that one of her personal goals, beyond winning major titles, was to get down to a size 4. Think about that. The most dominant athlete of her generation, still measuring herself against impossible beauty standards. That's heartbreaking, my friends. And this is where psychology comes back in. Researchers talk about stereotype threat. The idea that people under pressure not to confirm negative stereotypes may alter their behavior or even their identity. It's possible that part of Serena's evolving look comes from that very dynamic. To soften the harsh narrative around her, she may have leaned into a more conventional image. That's connected to body image theory too. Our self-image isn't formed in isolation. It's shaped by the messages we receive from the world. For Serena, those messages were relentless. Every trophy she lifted came with commentary about her arms, her legs, her face, her hair. Imagine living with that for decades. And social media made it worse. Early in her career, people mostly saw Serena through TV coverage and print magazines. Now every photo, every angle, every candid moment gets dissected by millions in real time. Strangers zoom in, analyze, criticize, and debate whether she lightened her skin, whether she's trying to look white, whether she's changed her nose. It's brutal. And let's talk hair. Guys, the obsession with Serena's hair says more about society than about her. When she wore beads as a teenager, officials called them distracting. When she rocks blonde today, critics accuse her of abandoning her identity. But here's the truth. Women experiment with hair everywhere. The difference is, when Black women do it, it becomes political. For others, a wig or a new color is fun. For Serena, it's framed as a cultural betrayal. That double standard has followed her since day one. So why the fixation? Why is it that a woman can win 23 Grand Slam titles, reshape an entire sport, inspire millions, and still be reduced to debates about her skin tone and hairstyle? That obsession isn't about Serena. It's about us. But then, in August 2025, Serena added another layer to the conversation. She revealed to People magazine that she had lost 31 pounds using weekly injections of AGLP-1 medication. She explained that after giving birth to her first daughter in 2017, her body didn't bounce back the way it used to. Training, dieting, discipline, none of it got her back to what she considered her fighting weight. After her second daughter in 2023, the struggle only intensified. For Serena, whose entire identity as an athlete was built on control, routine, and repetition, that must have felt devastating. She admitted it was frustrating to do everything right and still not see results. Her choice to use the medication was both deeply personal and symbolically powerful. The response? Divided, of course. Some people praised her honesty and said she was inspiring. Others criticized her for taking shortcuts. Then another twist dropped. Her husband, Alexis Ohanian, had been on the board of the pharmaceutical company behind the drug since 2018. Suddenly, what looked like a personal health decision also looked like a business move. And guys, that's the world Serena lives in. Every choice is magnified. Every decision is scrutinized. Even a step she took for her health becomes a headline, a conspiracy, a debate. But let's pause here. At the end of the day, it's Serena's body, her life, her choice. She doesn't owe the media, the internet, or the critics any explanations. She has spent her career under one of the harshest spotlights imaginable, and she's still standing. Because Serena Williams is more than her appearance. She's the athlete who redefined power in women's tennis, the mother who spoke openly about postpartum struggles, the cultural force who broke barriers and changed how the world sees the sport. And she did it while carrying criticism that would have crushed most people. So the next time people ask whether Serena has changed, maybe the real question should be, why do we keep caring more about her looks than her legacy? Peace out, Seshers!